go down and talk to the recruiter. And of course they're like, absolutely, we would love to have you. I'm like, finally someone wants me to come join their agency. This mafia connected dude that owns a ranch outside the Rogue Valley. And they had high-end horses, and high-end horses come with like high-end horse semen. So one of the jobs is I would go there, they would collect it, and I'd get
You're the delivery boy.
I'd get this like freeze, dry ice container.
Yeah, CO whatever. Yeah.
And I'd go in my own personal truck with like $100,000 worth of horse stuff, and I would run down to the airport and give it to an airplane, and then boom, they'd go off. I was midway through my deployment. I mean, I had a suppressed M4 with a grenade launcher on it. Like, I was living like the best possible life I could.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Sure.
My mom probably would not appreciate knowing that, but I was having a pretty good time. I turned 20 and 21 in my least favorite part of the world.
And we were in Afghanistan?
Iraq. Yeah. And then everyone's going to get dysentery in like the next 2 days. And that happened a couple times, and I was the last person to get it. And it was so bad. Yeah. So bad. You go outside and you think you're going to throw up and you crap your pants and you're like, well, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, what is it? And the interpreter's like, it's a torture chamber. I'm like, what is a torture chamber? You go down there and it's just like the movies. You see like a power drill with like flesh and bone on it. Or you see like a bed hooked up to like electricity, battery, and just blood everywhere. You're like, this is pretty evil. That's what made like when we gave up Iraq pretty difficult, because you got a lot of friends that either died over there or gave up a lot and then came home and killed themselves over that. And then you watch the government like, we're just going to say bye. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know, we invested a ton of time and money and people over here, sweat equity and blood equity, and then they just bounce. Like, you're going to miss birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, kids' first steps, any of that.
Do you smell my icy hot?
No.
Not at all?
No.
I put it on a big application. It's on my torn hamstring.
I don't smell it.
Oh, well, that's good.
I still smell forest fire on my nose from the other day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you don't smell the whatever, icy hot or whatever it's called, biofreeze. That's what it is.
Bengay.
Yeah. Not anymore. Oh, man. Well, welcome into Frontline Podcasting. This week we're here with my friend Josh Spano, and part of our board of directors on for Frontline Outfitting. And dude, it's good to have you here today doing this. This is going to be awesome.
Thank you. I'm not nervous at all.
Okay. You'll loosen up. Don't worry. Be fine. Just act natural.
Yeah.
I was actually, before I was driving over here today, I was kind of getting ready for this. And I remember when you called me, and either I was getting off in the morning and driving home, or you were getting off and calling me going in the morning. But I think I was coming home, and you called me, and it was like 6:15 in the morning. And I think you said something like, hey, did you ask like how could you start something, or what was it? How did it? And I just said, dude, don't even reinvent the wheel. Just do this.
Yeah, I remember part of that.
Remember that conversation?
Yeah, part of it. And then it's because we got the first horse, and I was like, hey, this seems like a workable thing.
Yeah.
And then you had already figured it out. I was late to the game.
I didn't figure it out.
You figured out the majority of it.
I had more pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. I had no pieces. I had a horse that I didn't know how to ride.
Yeah. No, I just remember saying something like, and I was like between McGrath Road and just coming around the corner, getting ready to head out like Powell Butte Highway. And I remember, I'm like, let's do this. Just come do it with me. This will be fun. And now here we are.
It's worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Man, how long you been in law enforcement?
This is year 18.
That's a long time.
Home stretch.
Yeah.
I think.
Good. Okay. Where'd you start your law enforcement career?
Medford PD, Southern Oregon.
A lot of dope down there.
an incredible amount of dope. That's what made it so fun.
Yeah.
It's also why we left.
True.
Yeah.
How far of the border is Medford from the border?
I know Ashland like centers on like the 14-mile marker I-5, so we're probably another 10 or so, 15 miles or so north from there. But
Okay.
not too far. I mean, you can make it to the border in half an hour.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. So Medford PD. I kind of jumping ahead of myself here. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Born in Redding, California. Grew up in Millville, just east of there. Like Palisadro, Millville. Next stop is like Shingletown, Mount Lassen. So rural, country.
Yeah. Is
trees.
Shasta College it's in Redding, right?
I think so.
They were in our league when I was playing in the JUCO league down there.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think my uncle coached softball for them.
Huh.
Yeah. But then we left there when I was 7, moved to Granite Falls, Washington, where I was introduced to perpetual rain and sadness.
I've never even heard of Granite Falls.
It's like outside Marysville, north of Seattle and Tacoma and all that.
Oh, it's wet.
You could see Puget Sound from where we were. It just rained. That's all I remember is rain. And then we moved to the Oregon coast, Coos Bay area.
Oh.
Also rains.
Yeah.
Smells like meth and poverty. And then moved again my summer after my freshman year to Eagle Point. So that's where I finished high school, outside of Medford.
Did you go to Marshfield?
Yeah, 1 year. Whoa. Steve Prefontaine everywhere.
Is he a Marshfield grad?
Yeah.
Gosh, you know who else is a Marshfield grad? You probably know this, but crap, he was a year ahead of me in school, and he was the OC for Oregon Ducks. Mark Helfrich.
Oh, yeah.
Took me a second to come to say that, because I remember playing Marshfield in football in high school. But anyway, cool. So you moved to, where was it on the coast? Like, where'd you finish high school?
Eagle Point.
Eagle Point.
Also smells like meth and poverty in Eagle Point.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. What did your parents do? Did you guys move around because of work or?
Yeah. So my dad did construction when I was little, and then he was a reserve deputy, I believe, with like Shasta County.
Oh.
And then we moved to Washington, construction job, back to the coast of Oregon, and he worked for Coos County SO for, he'll listen to this at some point, so I don't want to quote how many years, I don't remember, but it was long.
11-5?
What's that?
11-5?
Probably. And then there was, I remember there being like an issue with the sheriff that got elected and him like not actually being a cop. And he had to go through the academy and like learn everything. He wasn't very well regarded amongst the peers there. So he was like, I think I'm going to go do something else, and went back to construction.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you get hooked into the job as a young kid, or because he was doing it, or?
No, I mean, my grandma's dad, so my great-grandfather, he died when I was 7. He was LA SD for a long time, like 27, 30 years, something like that. Rose to rank lieutenant, ran their honor farm, which is like the work
release,
center. Yeah, like work center, work farm out there. So I heard like some stories from him, but they lived down in Pasadena, so I was little, didn't hear a ton. And then other family members were in it. My grandfather's sister's husband was LAPD, ran the Vice Squad during the '84 Olympics.
Oh, wow.
The Whorebusters. They have a T-shirt with like the Ghostbusters with a hooker on it. So that was his unit during that.
Interesting.
So I heard some stories from him kind of growing up, and then my dad, of course, but I didn't have, like, it wasn't on the horizon for me. I didn't really have a plan getting out of high school or in high school. And then I graduated when I was 17. The war with Iraq, the invasion of Iraq kicked off like spring before I graduated. Watched that on TV, and I was like, I mean, I don't really have a lot of options. I'm not like super smart. I'm not independently wealthy. I didn't try real hard in school. I was super smart in school, but there was no application for me to like excel at it, if you get what I'm saying.
I totally get it. That's what Katie said my problem was.
Yeah, they're like,
I didn't skip school or anything.
Yeah.
I
skipped a bunch of it because I was like, this is dumb. And calculus is not going to suit me in the future. I'm not a calculus person.
Yeah.
Like my jobs in high school was like build fence.
Right. Well, I didn't skip because my dad was a superintendent of public works and he roamed around town. So
Yeah.
you couldn't stop off at the house, you know.
I skipped all the time. Like, and I would get home because it was before cell phones for the most part. So I'd get home and be like, boop, delete that message. And no one would know that I skipped school until report cards came through. Like, yeah, your attendance is like 30%.
Oh, what year did you graduate high school then? Like
03.
03. Man.
I look
like
older.
Desert Storm was kicking off when I was in high school.
Yeah, we got the second bout of it. So yeah, talked to my parents. I went down to the recruiter on my own, did the ASVAB, talked to my folks, and I was like, hey, that was kind of a pain in the butt.
Just talking to your folks or just getting through getting recruited?
Just like in general at that point in my life. Didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't do drugs, like none of that stuff. I didn't really have like the drive to go do anything real remarkable. So I do remember my dad taking me to go see Saving Private Ryan. I was like, I mean, that seems like a viable option for me. So watch this on the news, go down and talk to the recruiter. And of course they're like, absolutely, we would love to have you. I'm like, finally someone that wants me to come join their agency.
Well, and you didn't have to get out of a U-boat either.
I did not.
On a beach.
Nope, I did not want that. Turns out I was a great fit for the military. They really wanted me to join. So I did.
Man, I swear, I don't know if I can't remember. Does every kid take the ASVAB as a high schooler?
No.
I swear I took it, but maybe I didn't.
I didn't even take the SAT because I knew it wasn't in the cards for me.
I sucked at that.
I skipped that too.
Horrible. Golly. So you go, there's no big deal about getting in at 17. You don't have to be 18.
No, got to get a waiver. Parents have to sign.
Were they cool with that?
Yeah, I think my mom probably had some more trepidation than my dad. My dad's like, this will be good for you. And I was like, yeah. And I'm not going to tell you guys if it doesn't work out.
Right.
You know, that obstinate teenage kid thing.
Right.
Yeah, then one day, it's actually kind of funny. I worked at a restaurant. I had a bunch of jobs in high school because I liked working and making money more than I liked going to school. So I worked at like a mailboxes, et cetera place that did private deliveries. And an interesting story about that, there was this mafia connected dude that owns a ranch outside the Rogue Valley, and they had high-end horses, and high-end horses come with like high-end horse semen. So one of the jobs is I would go there, they would collect it, and I'd get
the delivery boy.
I'd get this like freeze, dry ice container.
Yeah, CO whatever. Yeah,
and I'd go in my own personal truck with like $100,000 worth of horse stuff, and I would run down to the airport and give it to an airplane, and then boom, they'd go off, fly to like Kentucky or something.
And then you got a cash roll with a rubber band around it.
I got nothing. I got my regular paycheck. I just had to get onto this property a lot.
Wow.
Which was guarded by people, and they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm 16. I'm just here to pick up some horse stuff." They're like, "Oh, go down to the barn." I'm like, cool. What am I picking up? And they hand me this thing that looks like something the Ghostbusters put the ghosts in.
Totally.
And then I run it to the airport.
My father-in-law had that sitting around his barn.
Yeah.
Because he would do that. He inseminated. He AI'd cows all the time.
I had no idea what it was. I just knew that it was a lot of money, and they had like a very strict time frame.
That's kind of cool. So you started a little. Now you fit right in Southern Oregon then.
Yeah.
With running semen.
Yeah.
It's not the same as dope, but I mean,
worth more money.
right? Jeez.
Not going to get pulled over or shot.
Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Knox.
Oh,
disgusting area, especially when you get there in July. Because I never experienced humidity to that degree. I was also cocky, 17, not in the best shape I should have been in to go. So I get there and I'm like, man, this is really uncomfortable. And it's the nighttime and I'm sweating. And everyone keeps yelling at me. I haven't even done anything wrong. And then like 1 week of being through INDOC there or in processing, and then I don't remember what they call it, but it's kind of like they call it like Shark Day or something. But you have your sea bag. You've now like given up all your personal belongings, and you go sit on your bags in this field, and then here come the drill sergeants, and they're like screaming at you, and they're like, "Get over here!" And you're like, "I don't know where I'm going." Like, "Get over there!" And if you were late, you did push-ups or flutter kicks or something. Mm-hmm. That seems to have just been like the constant thing for like 2 months, just getting yelled at.
When you went to the recruiter, did you have any idea of what you wanted to do? Period.
I knew that the medic thing fascinated me because I did have the foresight to think like, what can I do like transitionally after this?
That's good.
Like, oh, you can get your EMT basic. Well, little did I know, like the EMT basic doesn't really do anything except you can drive an ambulance and you have like zero liability. You're like a baby.
Yeah. Now they have upped it in the last, 10 years, and you can now like
They have up to
partially intubate, like a blind intubate, like an intermediate you used to be able to do.
you can do like a King LT or something. Yeah. So that's the only thing that was in my mind. I did high enough on the ASVAB. There was a lot of openings, but for me, and for whatever reason, I think it was overconfidence at that age. I was like, I just want to go and like do my part in this thing and get deployed and then kind of test myself. Because at that point I hadn't really done anything. I did sports off and on, but I wasn't really like down with the whole team sports thing. The individual sport aspect worked out a lot better for me.
I'm surprised you didn't wrestle.
I did wrestle for a little bit.
Oh, there you go.
And then I got hurt and I didn't wrestle anymore. I hurt myself doing stupid stuff. Like I'd go snowboarding during wrestling season and then get hurt.
Oh.
And then I'd have a broken arm. I couldn't wrestle.
Yeah, we're having conversations like that around my house right now.
Yeah.
Motorcycles rides around the house or whatever. Don't, injure yourself before sports.
None of that made sense to me at that age. I just thought I'm invincible, so I'll be good. Turns out I still am. Doing pretty good.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Did you so you go then when you get through basic, do they give you like direction on where you're going to go?
So basic, no real direction. I was in like a multiple MOS basic training. So like you go to Benning if you're infantry, you go to like Fort Sill if you're artillery, Fort Knox if you're a tanker or a cav guy, and then the other side of Fort Knox is dedicated to like all of us miscellaneous MOS people. So I was there with a ton of folks. Some of them were like delayed entry, like I'm going to do basic training, go back for a year, and then I'll join the Army like a year later. For me, I was 16 or 17 rather, and I go there and then I get done and they're like, cool, you're going to Fort Sam Houston in Texas. That's where they do all the medic training. And you guys are going to get on a Greyhound bus and drive there from Kentucky.
Wow.
So I got to see a lot of middle America.
Oh, that's good.
Over the course of 2 days in a Greyhound bus with a whole bunch of other dudes from the Army. I got to see Memphis, Tennessee. Don't want to go back there, really.
No.
Arkadelphia, Cracker Barrel, pretty cool.
Arkadelphia?
I don't know if it's in Texas or Arkansas, but it was...
Not like Texarkana.
No, this is Arkadelphia, yeah.
Texarkana, yeah, that's what they call it.
But we went to Cracker Barrel, my first time ever going.
Huh.
It was amazing.
So the one in Bend was not as good as...
No, I actually never wanted to go. No, I didn't want to go eat there. It didn't seem Southern enough.
Oh, man. I got a ton of questions to ask you because I'm just curious to know like how it works. But okay, so you're gonna go to where?
Fort Sam Houston.
Fort Sam
San
Houston.
Antonio.
Yeah. And how like in the Army, how do they, so are you going to be a corpsman? What is it labeled as? Or like what, like a medic?
So at that point, there was, the designation I think was the 98 whiskey designator, and you were a healthcare specialist. So you couldn't say, I want to be a line medic with the infantry, or I want to be like a hospital medic or something like that. You just kind of had to get lucky or prove yourself in some regard. And a lot of that was based, I think, when you went to your unit afterwards, they'd kind of pick where you went.
Like what's more in that rank or in that field, what was better? Like, did you want to be in a hospital was be better, or was it?
I thought the hospital would be awful.
Yeah. Was there more kind of not clout, but just kind of like not even prestige, it was just more meaningful to be attached to a unit? Or
I mean, I didn't realize a lot of it until I got in there. So I graduate, all that. I'm 18 now. And then you get to your unit and you get told, hey, you're going to be a line guy. So you get assigned to an infantry company. And then within that company, there's a senior medic. And then throughout the platoons, each of them have a line medic. And you're basically like, they think I'm not saying the infantry guys are dumb. Anybody in the infantry, I don't think you're dumb. But they thought that we had a lot more capabilities than we did. They're like, you're basically a doctor. I'm like, more like Dr. Quinn. I don't have a ton of stuff in my medical bag that I can do, but if you get shot, I can fix that, or at least patch it up.
Yeah.
And then it comes with a lot of after training. You get to a bunch of special schools. But in my opinion, like the line medic job was the best because support hospital, combat support hospital, working in like the hospital seems awful to me. You're not outside. You're not doing things. You're being reactive and not like the proactive side of it.
Right.
And I didn't join to go and do that. I mean, my hat's off to people that did. That wasn't my gig.
And I'm probably jumping around here, but if you, so if you're a line guy, are you still like, what are your responsibilities tactically as an operator? Like, are you still running a gun? Are you
really?
like,
It really depends on the personality of the unit. There's a big like crucible of like proving yourself to these guys.
To the unit itself, or like the medical
to the
people?
unit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, some of it comes down from like the leadership of your medical platoon, but a lot of it is more like who your platoon sergeant is in that infantry unit, who the PLs are in that infantry unit, and like who the squad leaders are. Mm-hmm. Some of them wanted you just to like stay out of sight, stay out of mind. And the other ones are like, hey, like superior firepower is the best medical care. So learn how to use this. And I was like, hell yeah. And I mean, it paid dividends in the end because by the time I was midway through my deployment, I mean, I had a suppressed M4 with a grenade launcher on it. Like I was living like the best possible life I could.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Sure.
My mom probably would not appreciate knowing that, but I was having a pretty good time.
Okay. Before I ask you some questions about like combat and stuff and like actually doing the work, like training wise leading up to it, you know, and you're familiar with like EMT basic, intermediate, paramedic, all that stuff. Like, you know, how much when you went through the Army's program of the medic course and stuff, like do you have to do AMP? Do you have to do,
No.
I mean, is it like the state board medically?
It's pretty condensed. You still do the all skills for your basic, but it's super condensed. Like I remember doing all skills again as a civilian or as a cop. I was like, this seems really hard. But when I went through it there, I feel like people were just like, come on, get out of here. You're done. Like, good job. I was like, I don't know if I did that right. I think I put the C collar on backwards. Like, just do it better next time, bud. And then you hone those skills later on. I mean, the Army has a lot of extra schools for it. I ended up getting tasked out to go. I did an internship with Fairbanks Fire when I was up there. I was literally like kicked out of the Army for 6 months to go do this internship. I lived at the firehouse like most days of the week. I got treated like a probie. There was one way to get in the building for me, and it was I had to climb the fire pole. I couldn't use the stairs like everybody else. So after a call, they're like, we'll see you upstairs. I'm like, climb up this sucker.
But you're still enlisted?
Yeah. I was just tasked out to them.
Interesting.
And Fairbanks, for being what it is, I mean, it is kind of a smaller town, but it's ultra violent. Not like Las Vegas, Chicago, Miami violent, but as far as like small town Alaska.
For the population.
Yeah, I mean, there's
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like a shooting or a stabbing every week doing that. And it's such a big area. The Fairbanks North Star Borough is so big that you're going on like 45-minute code runs.
Yeah.
So pretty awesome.
Did they ever utilize birds up there, like for anything, fixed wing or helicopters? Or
most of that came from, we had an organic unit at Fort Wainwright, which was a air ambulance unit, furthest north air ambulance unit in the world. And they serve civilian and like federal resources up there. So you could go anywhere.
Wow. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also was thinking about this in the last couple of weeks and thinking about leading up to this podcast, but you know, you have a physician advisor over these fire departments and these agencies and stuff like that around here. How does is there like one dude or lady or whatever over general that is over like the Army or do they just all work together with like SOPs for like, how's that work?
Our medical platoon has a physician's assistant being like the highest ranking guy. He's a captain. Mm-hmm. He probably won't listen to this. So I'll be honest. I didn't really have a ton of trust in this guy. He was very risk averse. So like if we went out in the field, he's like, I'm not going. And if he did go, he'd be like, cool, I'm bringing my own tent. Like I'm not sleeping in your guys' tent. And then, but there was no like online medical, like in the field during like a thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't like, hey, can you guys somehow get this captain on the radio so I can ask him any questions?
Yeah.
It was just, do what you could.
Yeah.
And then 9-line it in and send them off.
And even in the whole training program though, is it overseen by, have they come up with like some sort of collective, like, okay, these are standing SOPs that we're going to do for GSWs, or we're going to do this for,
a lot of that at the time was changing. Cause like 01 Afghanistan kicks off. There's a lot of things they're learning from that. And then 03 Iraq kicks off, and all of a sudden we're getting like IEDs and EFPs and all this new stuff where you're getting not just like a single amputation, but you're getting a guy with like both arms, both legs.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was different methodologies of, before it was like tourniquets and you push fluids, and then it became tourniquets, no fluids. And it's like tourniquets, but a different kind of fluid. And then, cause the old rule was like, well, if you put a tourniquet on them, like they're going to lose that limb. So
right.
we're pretty averse to doing that. And then it became like, well, they'll probably make it for 12 hours. We can save it with like current thrombolytics.
Yeah.
So a lot of it just kind of changed. Like I heard one thing during training, and then you go to some school and they're like, this is what we're actually doing now. Like, okay, that seems actually like a whole lot better.
Huh. Okay. So how many deployments did you do?
One really long one.
Okay. And when was that?
I left in end of June, July of 05.
Okay.
I got back like right before Christmas of 05 or 06.
Wow.
Yeah. I turned 20 and 21 in my least favorite part of the world.
And we were in Afghanistan?
Iraq. Yeah.
Okay. What was, what was your main objective over there?
I mean,
at the time,
who
were you tied to?
I was line medic for 2-1 Infantry, Bravo Company, 2nd Platoon. So I was with a group of 30 plus guys. I was their medic, and we rolled around in our striker vehicles, and we got into country. We landed, did like the whole like corkscrew into Mosul, Iraq. And then the call to prayer kicked off, and all of a sudden like mortars hit the runway, and I was like, we're there.
Wow.
And then we all convoy up to our place we're going to stay for a couple of days. Some of the guys do like right seat, left seat rides where you do a handoff with the old unit. And then Steve Sosa, we relieved each other. Our unit relieved him. So we just passed like 2 ships in the night, but we didn't know it until we talked about it like 20 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, their unit has a bunch of stories that are pretty wild from that area, because they did a pretty good job pacifying the people up there. But then we kicked off to Rawa, which is probably 20 clicks off the Syrian border. And that's where AQI was like funneling all the fighters in. So we just took over this little town, built an outpost, and then we did presence patrols. We do route clearance with the engineers, and we would occasionally go out and support the Marines when they go do operations on the south side of the river. And then we do operation on the north side, and they do the same thing, support us. So Jeff Barry's unit was in the same. We were in the same operation. Just
that's crazy.
He was on the south side of the river. I was on the north side of the river.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Huh. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. So, well, obviously being a medic, you deal with trauma. I mean, it's kind of like a life flight nurse, right? Or whenever the bird lifts off, they know they're going to something bad every time. What was that like? Kind of like I was an EMT for 10 years. So I've seen all kinds of different stuff here and there, but it's not like, being in combat. I mean,
there's parallels to it. The first 6 months of my deployment was pretty vanilla. It's a weird transition when you get there, because the whole time you're like, I'm going to die. I'm definitely going to get blown up, or I'm going to get shot. And then like all that kind of drifts away, and you just kind of get lulled into this sense of, I wouldn't say security, but the realistic fatalism of like, you're there. You're like, I can't go home.
Right.
I don't regret my decision. But yeah, I mean, you see violence on a pretty common basis, especially like civilian casualties being inflicted by the AQI dudes. And then you just kind of roll with it. So you'll get told, hey, we're doing like, this is our patrol schedule over the next 7 days. You guys will have 1 day off, like 8 hours of dwell time to chill and do whatever you need. And the rest of it, like, it's a work cycle and a sleep cycle. And then you just go. And that first 6 months, we split up being like a QRF for a task force unit made of the Joint Special Operations guys that were hunting Zarqawi. So they they had a tent down there, and I remember my buddy and I thought these were like the coolest dudes in the world because they're like Bob, Bill, Jack, and Tom, even though that's not their names.
Right.
And they're wearing like all Arc'teryx gear. They have a really cool tent. Like they had a Hilleberg tent, and I was like, that's way cooler than our tent. They have their own air conditioning unit in there and a satellite hookup. So we just go down and pick their brains, like, hey, what are you guys doing? They're like, we can't really tell you, but we're gonna go try to kill this Sarkawi guy tonight. And I remember one of the dudes, we saw him later because we did the QRF. We went out, and he has like a giant, like Tom Berenger type scar on his face.
Really?
I'm like, what is that? And he's like, I took a round on the way down the rope. I'm like, dude, whoa. Like, you want me to bandage that? He's like, nah, kid, I don't need your help. He's like, okay, I'll see you later, Tom or Bill or whatever. We didn't have a ton of kinetic stuff during that point. We did a bunch of route clearance. We did a bunch of cordon and searches, but that area was pretty, like, the fight wasn't there. The fight was internal. They were going closer to Baghdad and Ramadi.
Yeah.
That's where the hot spots were. So after about 6 months, we had a couple casualties. At that point, no one died. And then we rejoined all of the rest of our brigade, basically, in Mosul. About 6 months later, another unit got tapped out to go down to Rawa. And then, that's kind of when it all went south for us. That's when we took most of our casualties, I think.
How many? So give me how many in the unit that you're attached to? How many guys?
Like we were just a solo infantry platoon attached to, or an infantry company attached to a cavalry squadron.
Okay.
So like 100 plus guys, maybe, if you include like vehicle drivers and everything.
But if you were out, let's say, doing whatever, how many of you were out on that, either patrol or whatever they're doing?
4 or 5 trucks, so 30 plus people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's usually like how many dudes you're out with at once.
Yeah.
Okay. And then is there a scheduled? So when it started to get a little bit more, I guess, busy, like what was that?
That's when we went into the city. Like, we went into Mosul proper, and our sister infantry unit, 117, they had the west side of the city, and we had the east side. They're both terrible. Mosul's like pretty storied place in the Bible, like Nineveh. Jonah's mosque is there, like where Jonah's grave was.
Yeah.
ISIS got rid of that.
Wow.
Like Assyrian Christianity was from there. And it's just kind of a cool area. There's a whole bunch of history that's now destroyed because of ISIS. But that whole area was really cool to be in because it's like you feel like you're like in the ancient times. But then you drive down the road and people are blowing you up or shooting at you, and you kind of lose its luster at that point. But our main thing at that point was we kind of did the same thing, QRF for the JSOC crew, and then we'd go and do a lot of just presence stuff, patrol presence, and then like a probe to contact type of deal. You go out there and try to pick a fight with them, which is pretty easy.
With all these guys in this unit and stuff, what's your relationship with them like? Is there anything different with being a medic compared to like a infantryman, or do you distance yourself because of your job, or did you get tight with some dudes?
That's where you got to earn your keep. You really get what you give with them. If you are like a total sham artist, you're like, oh guys, I'm really tired. I can't do fire guard tonight or whatever. Fire guard would be like if we have like a perimeter set up and everyone's sleeping, it's the middle of the night, like you're up on the gun watching all night on this RWS system. But if you fail to do that, they're like, well, this guy sucks. We will give him no quarter, and we will make his life pretty miserable.
Or you'll find a replacement.
So you just gotta, you have to earn your keep with them really good. And that's where the whole like brotherhood stems from. And eventually, if they have enough stock in you, like they will, hey man, come learn how to use this. Come learn how to use this. Hey, you might need this. Here's a grenade. I'm like, okay, why would I need this grenade? Well, you just might. Like, we're doing some stupid stuff today. Like, okay, I'll carry this grenade then. Not all the medics had that relationship, but a bunch of us that, I don't know what dynamic made us have that relationship with them. It was just like, that's just what you wanted to do. And there was definitely some guys that I came in with that are like, that's not for me. I would rather sit here and fill out my soap note on this guy's ingrown toenail. Yeah. And then you guys let me know what you need when you get back. And that just seems awful to me.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. Huh. Okay. Just give me, like, I'm curious to know, like, how much patient care do you have? Like, how much patient care on the job do you have?
A lot of that really depends. Like when you're like on your forward operating base or at a outpost, you're basically just like preventing problems. A lot of it is, it's super easy to get sick out there. Like the platoon leader will be like, hey, we have to go to this tribal meeting and all of you have to eat their food or it's super disrespectful. I'm like, all right, I'm going to eat some Cipro and then I'm going to like just kill everything inside of my stomach and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going to get dysentery in like the next 2 days. And that happened a couple times and I was the last person to get it. And it was so bad. Yeah. So bad. You go outside and you think you're going to throw up and you crap your pants and you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah. And then you have to go be the dude that gets treated, you know? But that happened a couple times in Rawa because we're like super austere living conditions. You can only shower a couple times every week. Our laundry got washed in this giant laundry machine that just kind of washed everyone's stuff with no soap and just like more dirty water. So you just get like, you put clean clothes in there kind of and you get brown clothes out.
Awesome.
The food was terrible. So I was super happy to go to like a hotter place, but you end up with like better food and you sleep in a building that has a bed instead of a cot.
Yeah.
That was a win.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as the patient care, I mean, in the combat setting, it really depends what happens. I mean, dude just gets like a flesh wound, like you're pretty good. You keep them with you. You don't have to evac them. And then, I mean, you end up someone KIA or like a pretty devastating injury. Then, I mean, you're calling in a 9 line, trying to set up an LZ and then, you know, burn them out of there.
What was the worst thing you saw? Just
I mean, a lot of bad stuff's happened to our guys. It was the civilian casualties, I think, that bugged myself the most because it was like this purge on, I mean, obviously it's Muslim country, Shia versus Sunni. Then you had the Kurds up north, which are Yazidi, which is like this weird Zoroastrianism.
okay.
It's like an offshoot. They claim of Islam, but they believe in like a lot of weird stuff. But they're awesome people, like some of the best fighters in the world. And then you have like the Chaldean and Assyrian Christians that are there, and they were like wholesale getting slaughtered by the AQI guys. Like if they'd roll into a village and just murder them. And we were at the time there when sectarian violence kicked off. So it wasn't an odd day when we moved. We eventually got shifted down to Baghdad when we got spooled up for our extension on our deployment. We ended up down there on like the east side of Baghdad, like Sadr City, Shab and Ur. And then you'd see 10 or 12 people with like a severed head just on the side of the road every day or floating down the river. And you're like, what in the world are we doing?
Yeah.
And then you come do these clearances, like these cordon and searches of these neighborhoods, and you see the neighbors finally come out. They're like, oh, they're gone, come here. They're like, what is it? And they're like, go down here. Like, what is it? And the interpreter's like, it's a torture chamber. I'm like, what is a torture chamber? You go down there and it's just like the movies. You see like a power drill with like flesh and bone on it, or you see like a bed hooked up to like electricity,
Battery
and just blood everywhere. You're like, this is pretty evil. And that is, they would do that to kids. They would do that to the adults. We worked with the police chief when we were out there, and he would let us operate in their area pretty freely because that was a pretty hot area. And the AQI dudes came in there, kidnapped his kid, like raped him, murdered him, and then dropped him off on his front steps.
This is the police chief?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So then his resolve is now like, let's kill them all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's eventually what like some of the units went on to go do. It just became like, we're going to spin up. We're going to do hide sites at night. We're going to put you guys on buildings. You'd take like 20 guys in and then fake like that you're all leaving and leave like dudes up top. And that's what I got to do eventually when I got embedded with our sniper team. And that's what you would do. You would just go up and wait for them to come back. Cause they'd always want to come probe around like, oh, what'd they do? They want to go interrogate the family or beat the family or, oh, we're going to kill you because you cooperated. And we'd be like, surprise. Not going to work tonight, bud. Yeah. So,
wow.
But that was the hardest part, I think, other than losing friends. Just seeing what that country did to itself was wild, like an eye opener for me because I was super young,
Right.
And I did not think I was going to see it. It just wasn't like on the forefront of my mind as a kid.
It's heavy, dude. Heavy stuff. It's a lot of stuff you just never unsee.
No, and I think that's what makes that's what made like when we gave up Iraq pretty difficult, because you got a lot of friends that either died over there or gave up a lot and then came home and killed themselves over that. And then you watch the government like, we're just going to say bye. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know, we invested a ton of time and money and people over here, sweat equity and blood equity, and then they just bounce and leave those people kind of hanging. We've abandoned a lot of those people several times now. I don't think we'll ever get their help again.
Well, I think that abandonment in anything is everywhere.
Yeah.
We're dealing with work right now.
Yeah, for sure.
What year did you get out?
07.
07. And then what year did you start at? Did you start at Medford PD then?
I started with them in 2008.
Oh wait, okay.
Yeah, summer of 08.
Okay. What basic class were you in? What was your PD class?
307. I think.
Okay.
I didn't do very well there either.
Dude, that was I hated it.
I was a giant pain. Yeah, like I had an idea of what like the paramilitary organization, the police was going to be.
Yeah.
And I got there, I'm like, the academy, if anybody's ever been in the academy, is kind of a joke. And I think it's become more of a joke now to a lot of people. It's a necessary evil for a lot of the wisdom that has to be imparted, but they could do a lot better job picking the people that teach there.
100%.
I've been a cop for 2 years and I've retired from a small agency in the middle of nowhere and I'm here to teach you guys how to do this. I'm like, I think that you might be a liar.
Yeah. I would love to just have a podcast on the stupid stuff that's happened there. I mean, there's got to be, I mean, the stories are, even when I went through I had personal stories that are just like, what?
Yeah. I got in trouble there a couple times.
I went through with Bill Yu and Clint and Aaron Myers, and that was fun. So you worked in dope. Did you work in detectives much? Did you get into detectives at Medford? Were you just working as a? No,
I did patrol, became an FTO. I was pretty immature at that point. It's pretty hard to believe when you're like 23 years old. And a dope spot came open, like a permanent dope spot, and I tested for it, and they're like, yeah, we would love to have you, but you are a child. Like, you need to learn how to adult a little bit better. I'm like, well, I'm the only person to put in there, like, yep, and this spot will go unfilled until next time. So I eventually got that, and then that's right around the time I met my wife, so I went and I worked a couple of years in our drug unit down there as a detective, and then my son was born, and I was like, man, I've been gone a ton. Because it's one of those 6 or 7 day a week jobs. Oh, yeah. And I missed like the whole first year and a half of my kid being alive. And I was like, this is not working. And at the same time that came to an end, my wife was pregnant with our daughters who were born premature. And that's when we decided to move up to Bend. My folks were up here already and just thought it'd be a good move.
How did your folks end up? Did they kind of just wander this way and go, hey, this is great? Or
dad?
Had you ever been here?
Yeah, we had a good friend that was here, Corey Callentine.
Yeah.
They lived up here. We've been friends with them forever. My dad grew up with them. And we came up to visit a lot. And my parents ended up buying a business from a family member, a tool business, in like 07, I think, right when I got out. And they've been here ever since.
I got to go in there.
So I decided, like, I might as well go there. You know, I don't want to be down here anymore. Medford was fun, but we had five OISs my last year there. Wow. Yeah. And I was there for, I think, not the last one, but I was there for one of them. When I was on the SWAT team, and I remember going home, I told my wife, like, I don't know if you know how I'm feeling about this right now, but I love this job, but like, this is our third one so far. I think we had 2 more right after that. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't really want our kids to be down here.
Right.
So, applied. I met Mac, Wells, RC Bigelow, a bunch of those dudes at O&EA at Eagle Crest that year.
Okay.
I was like, are any of you hiring? And Wells was like, come to Redmond, bro. I'm like, I don't know if I want to come to Redmond. And Mac's like, come to the county. You can chew and have tattoos. I'm like, selling point.
Yes.
And RC's like, come to Bend. We pay more. I'm like, that might work. So went on a ride along with everybody except for, I think we got a SWAT call out. Then I was supposed to go with the SO. And I eventually chose Bend and interviewed. They hired me. And then it came up on the 15th of November. I quit Medford the 13th of November.
Yeah.
Came to Bend on the 15th. And on the second, my wife's like, you have to make it back down to Medford. They're doing emergency C-section. The girls are going to be born like right now, 2 months early.
Oh, jeez.
So jam home. And then 9 days later, my father-in-law dies while we're all at home because we're kind of like in transition living there.
Yeah.
Which eventually got my mother-in-law up here, which is awesome. She lives in Sun River now. Super good to have around because grandma is around for the kids. My parents are around for the kids. And then she's like a 15-minute drive from home if we want to like drop our children off. And then in 2021, I made a social justice warrior mad when I was working for the city of Bend.
Allegedly.
And, I think
it's his opinion.
Allegedly, he's still mad. Yeah. I didn't feel supported by the agency before that. It was during the COVID times, and I didn't agree with like a lot of the internal policies from the agency.
It was a weird time anyway.
I had a super hard time being a supervisor there. I was at odds with a lot of the things that we were doing. And you see it. It's hard to ask your people to do something when you don't believe in it.
Yes.
Like here's this manure, but it's actually caviar. Just eat it.
Right.
And I'm not going to eat it with you. I'm just going to tell you to do it.
Right.
I got really burnt out and then applied with the SO and like magically like 9 days later, being IA'd by the agency. I was told I was fine. And then magically, I think the human resource, the chief people person of that city, he's like, no, we got to do something with this. And then it was like hellfire and brimstone from that point on. Luckily, the SO was like, we are cool with this. Yeah. This doesn't seem like a big deal. We hope you still come over here and don't pull your app. And I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came over.
Me too. I wish I would have listened to Mac in 2015.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Then you'd have got your longevity pay like I got this year for 10 years finally from here. So
I got a while to go.
That's fine. It's silly because you have all these years in, and then you're like, I'm at 10 years here. So, all right, I'm gonna have 2 questions about it, and then I want to talk to you about some like Alaska guiding and stuff.
Yeah.
What's your most favorite thing about being a cop? Wait, let's back up. What's the worst part about being a cop, in your opinion?
There's definitely a lot of, we don't advertise it very well as a profession. There's a lot of baggage that comes with it. We don't tell people when they're getting interviewed to get hired with us, not just us, but like anybody that's hiring in law enforcement. Like you're going to miss birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, kids' first steps, any of that. Don't you maybe do it.
Do it. Let it happen.
You miss so much of that, and a lot of it you're so eager to do it because you want to prove yourself in this job that you just forget. And you put it like at the back of your mind, like compartmentalizing like the sadness of it, and then you take a step back when you finally get time to breathe and you're like, what did I get out of that? Like my name's not going to be on the side of the building. There's not going to be an award named after me.
Nope.
Cool, I made some overtime. I don't have enough money to buy a boat, you know? And you just lose all that stuff that's intangible you can't get back. So that's probably the worst part for me, and that's what we just need to do a better job telling people so they're prepared for it. I think that's the heartbreaker in the end.
Okay. What's been the best part of it?
You get to do a lot of rewarding stuff. And some of it's super small, like
chase bears.
I mean, chasing bears was fun today. I'm glad that he's okay, so someone can get him later. My biggest thing was when I was working narcotics, like trying to get. You have informants, obviously, but trying to get them out of that and offering like, here's the carrot. Mm-hmm. The stick is prison or jail.
Right.
But the carrot is, if you can work these cases off, you're not going to be on probation, you won't go to jail, and we'll help you get this path to being clean and hopefully like reunite with your kids. And hearing that from people that I've worked around in Central Oregon for the last 10 years, like hearing them when you run into them and they're clean now, they're like, hey, like you doing that is like what made me not do it anymore. Yeah. Like that's the win.
No, it's awesome.
I don't have like a really good like ratio with like doing CPR on people, so I don't have a bunch of good saves, but that's the win for me is seeing people have like their family life back and not be like a total crap citizen.
Because if you go back to the life-saving thing or the CPR thing, all that is back to the maybe they'll name the building after me. That's not what it's about. It really is about someone come up to you telling you like, oh, you made my life better. Yeah. That's what's important.
That's always been the win. And that's, you know, the whole, I mean, that's the broad spectrum of community relations, but like knowing that person is reunited with their kid and then you can see them 10 years down the road and they're like, hey,
Well, it's funny, right? We do life-saving awards and all these things and blah, blah, blah. But what you're just now talking about, that truly is a life-saving award.
Yeah.
But we don't recognize that kind of stuff. It's more about like, you fill in the blank. Canine bites.
Yeah, it's the instant gratification.
DUI arrests in a year, whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's the long game that matters.
yeah. Okay, I want to talk about real quick, like Frontline. How much fun are you having with it?
So much fun. Horses are awesome.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much more awesome they were than my original thought until probably like the last 6 months when I kind of figured some of it out. I had a pretty rough start.
So did I.
We had one angry mare and then one horse that will go unnamed that tried to kill me a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then we had Zip.
Yep.
Zip kind of got my feet back under me. I was like, he's good.
Yep.
He's not trying to kill me every day.
No.
And then Lonesome came along, and then we ended up with Leo. And now we have this trio of like kind of every tier. We have like young piss and vinegar horse of Leo.
Yep.
Like the I like you, hate you mare.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lonesome, who's like throw
Steady
it at me.
Eddie.
Like I will do whatever you tell me to do. I'm not going to fight you.
Yep.
But it's been awesome because my kids are now introduced to it. The girls love it. My son loves it. When we took the boys on a ride, and he's like, I didn't know I did 12 miles. I'm like, I know. He's like, I've ridden further than Mom. I'm like, yep.
Yes,
you got to tell her that when you get home. But for him, that was like a huge eye-opening experience because like we never sneak up on animals like this. I'm like, it's way different on a horse.
Yeah.
But it teaches the kids a lot too. I mean, the value of like I have to be up early and feed them. I have to go shovel their paddock. I have to take care of their feet. I can't neglect them or else they're gonna like not be there for me when I need them.
Yeah. But it's been like and I was podcasting with Katie, I was telling her that just like, I feel like that you and I are kind of in the same boat, like time frame wise. Like I haven't had horses a long time either. I wanted them my whole life and always been interested in them and done stuff with them. But like, I just keep trying to learn more and I want to educate myself and I want to do more. And I don't know. And I told her that, I'm like, we're always talking at work about, just who can we take next and how much fun it was like taking Tommy and whatever. But, it's been for me, it's been the most fun thing that I have ever done. Oh, yeah. Plus we get to help people, Yeah.
And that's the big reward for me. Like, I'm still learning about horses and capabilities and kind of jumped in with both feet, but seeing and hearing from guys like, that was like the most relaxed I've ever been, in a long time. Like, awesome. Because that's how I feel too. Like, there's the stress of like, what's it going to do today? Is the horse going to kick at me? Is the horse going to try to stomp on me?
Right.
Is the horse going to act up? And you just kind of get into this vibe of like, you're just trucking down a trail and horse knows what it's doing. You just have to make sure that you know what you're doing and be aware. But it's like a cool relationship with them because once they trust you, you trust them, and there's just that bond instead of like it being one-sided. Yeah. Like a cat.
No, I can't wait for, just more things that are coming. But so the thing I think is really intriguing about you is, like your ties to Alaska. Like did that come from the Army? Is that how you got tied back in, or how do you guide out of what do you guide? Bear hunts, fishing, moose hunts?
Fishing.
Okay.
Mainly. Yeah. Fishing is my thing. I've been invited to do a lot of other stuff. But fishing is kind of my jam up there. A buddy of mine that lives local, also a veteran, Navy corpsman. I think it was 2020, like right before or right after the new year. We got this wild hair of like, hey, let's bring a bunch of special operations guys and try to get this whole idea of
like a retreat or just a getaway.
Like guys that are recently getting out and just like a detox. Let's get up here and maybe they enjoy it and like we'll see how this works out. I was part of a different nonprofit at the time. So we took this insurmountable task of raising this gigantic amount of money, which was really hard. And over the course of a couple months, we ended up getting in contact with Chad Hewitt and Bill Betts. They together are partners in this big conglomerate of fishing lodges and an aviation company up there. Mm-hmm. Chad runs Rainbow River Lodge, Rainbow River Aviation, and then Bill owns Iliamna River Lodge, and they're huge, like $12K a week to stay there. Trump Jr. stays there. Like a lot of people stay there. I'll never be able to stay there unless they invite me to go like have dinner one night and then fly me out so no one sees me. But then through that, we got all these guys up on this trip the next year. In the off season, they call me and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to have you come back." I'm like, "I don't want to do another trip like I just did. Like raising that much money was hard." They're like, no, we want to pay you to come up here and do it. I'm like, cool. Because the whole idea of that trip was we're just going to get dropped off on a float plane. We'll do this really hard thing where we have to like carry or drag the boats across the tundra, get them into this river that we've never been on, and then float for 6 days and take out and get picked up by a float plane and come back. And it was awesome. Like we had some really good times. There was people that were like, "I'm going to fight you on this trip." And then at the end, everyone's like, because we did a little debrief at the end where we filmed everybody.
Yeah.
And they're like, "This was life-changing." And that was kind of the whole idea, just kind of see where it went. And the end piece, like the big value of that was like what the guys said afterwards. Because we all spent the night in the middle of this river confluence on an island, like the largest river in the Bristol Bay drainage. We're just out there camping on this giant island. And everyone's like, "That was great."
Wow. Did are you still going back?
I leave.
Yeah, what do you have? You have something coming up.
16, 17 days. I go back up for 2 weeks.
And you're going up, you're working for someone though.
Yeah, I work for Bill and Chad.
Okay. And is the clients coming in, are they going to be vets? And
nope. This is
just public.
Yep. These guys book it through either our entity or through like some of the vendors. Like I think these guys booked out of the fly shop in Reading, huge fly shop. And they booked that trip. And then I've got four people coming down the American Creek up there, which is probably the prettiest place I've ever been. And then I do another trip where I don't know where I'm going. I'll find out like when I get back.
I don't know how you ever got into it, but that just seems like a daunting thing to do.
It's so much fun.
I don't even know how I would begin to, the fear of just the boat, the fishing, the guiding. All of that stuff would.
I rafted a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I worked down in Medford, some of my closest friends, one of my first FTOs, Derek Parks, he just retired. He got me into rafting. So I had my own boat, had my own cataract, and we would go everywhere. Like we would be on the river like 20 plus days.
So you got time on a river.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do the Rogue a lot. We've done
imagine
like most of the big rivers in Oregon, some of the stuff in California. He goes and does bigger rivers now because I don't have that much time, and now I have horses. I can't just leave them. Mm-hmm. But that's what really got me into it, and that's what makes Alaska fun because you're not floating down like a lazy river. You're going down like some legit, like the American Creek has a legit giant big class 4 in the middle, and there's no one to get you. Like if the Coast Guard has to come get you, you leave all your stuff there. The Coast Guard takes you and what you're wearing. They won't take your.
Imagine.
They won't take your bags.
You just be lucky to get out of there.
Yeah, they just take you. And I don't ever want that stigma because these guys pay a lot of money. Right. You're there for their safety and to make sure they're having a good time and that they catch fish.
What's the biggest fish you've caught up in Alaska?
Man, on that first trip with everybody, I got into probably like a 45-pound king salmon at like 11 o'clock at night when we finally got to like our campsite.
Still daylight though?
Still daylight, yeah. That was late July. And then this last trip, I probably ended up with like close to a 30-inch rainbow trout.
Wow.
But they're just big up there. Like they grow different. They eat so much salmon roe that they're just enormous. They're like the Hulk Hogan fish. They're huge. Rest in peace. Yeah. Yeah. Bad time.
Shout out to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, brother.
Yeah. That's what makes it fun though. I mean, you're literally, there may be some of these rivers, like we may be the only people to go down it that year.
Yeah.
Or we might be like one of like 2 trips to go down it. There's so many rivers to go.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To think about that. Like not many people going down a river.
No, I think the longest I went out there, like I rode on the plane for an hour and a half. I got dropped off with a total stranger that I've never met in my life that's going to co-guide this trip with me. He'll never hear this, so I never want to guide with you again, Ben. But that was daunting because we got dropped off, and they're like, "Yeah, you're just like a couple hundred yards from the river. Just drag your stuff over there." Well, it was a mile each way. Dropped off in this tiny lake, and then we have to cart 6 days worth of gear and 4 people's worth of stuff. And it was a 12-mile round trip adventure getting this stuff packed in.
Dude, that's a test of will right there, man.
I almost didn't want to sleep in a tent. I just wanted to like lay under the tent awning and just fall asleep. But I was like, we better have some sort of shelter. There's bears everywhere.
Yeah, I don't like that. I couldn't do that part, the bears.
The bears aren't bad. No. The mama moose is bad. The bears aren't bad.
Mosquitoes?
That river was awful for mosquitoes. You didn't even want to go to the bathroom. There were so many mosquitoes.
They're like a Chinook coming in on you, or
oh yeah, there's millions of mosquitoes there.
Well, we're going to wrap this up, dude. Thanks for coming on this week. And
thanks for having me.
And I literally can't wait for the future of the stuff that we're going to keep doing. And hopefully, at work, we get to opportunity to kind of make the opportunity to get people out more and work being going, hey, we want you to do this. So I think we'll get there. But
just the feedback from guys that I know that have gone, and like the word that's spreading, it's all been super positive, and it's just another outlet for people that they don't generally have.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that our paths have crossed and we are doing
100%.
this because, like I said, I don't know. It's so much fun, and I can't wait to keep seeing it grow. So,
Right on.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.